My name is Robert Brock, and I'm the artistic director and founder of the Lancaster Marionette Theater. So I want to welcome you all this afternoon for Bill Stillman Psychic Gallery. Has anyone been to see Bill before? Well, let me tell you, the people that have, you know how wonderful he is. And the people that haven't, you're in for a really unique experience. Let me get what I've got to say out of the way. We're a few minutes early, but everyone's here, and Bill said it's all right if we start a little early. So if you have any cell phones or anything that rings or buzz, if you please take this opportunity to turn them off now. Psychic William Stillman is the internationally known, award-winning author of the Autism and the God Connection book trilogy that explores spiritual giftedness in many people with autism. His paranormal books include Conversations with Dogs, A Psychic Reveals What Our Canine Companions Have to Say, and How You Can Talk to Them Too. His latest book, Under Spiritual Siege, How Ghosts and Demons Affect Us and How we can combat them. Since 2004, Bill has worked professionally as a psychic. He's been consultant on missing persons and unsolved homicide cases. He serves as an individual. Oh, wait a minute, Siri's coming through and telling me something. Shut up.
She's talking back here too.
Siri from Spirit is it scared the crap. Oh my goodness. Okay. He serves as an investigative research to the Pennsylvania Paranormal Association. Bill has been interviewed on numerous radio shows of the paranormal nature, including Coast to Coast AM, the most listened to overnight radio program in North America. His website is obviously www.williamstillman.com, and his Facebook page is William Stillman Psychic Medium. And if you do Facebook, like his page every day, and he'll probably talk about this a little more in detail. He has these wonderful insights that he posts daily. They're very good. During both portions of today's session, you're asked to remain seated and keep noise and talking to a minimum. I promise I won't talk. That's going to be hard. Hush up. So you already have your cell phones off. For the first portion of the gallery, Bill will verbally communicate the visual impressions he's being shown. If you feel as though the information is intended for you, please raise your hand so Bill can work with you closely to deliver a message. There'll be a 15-minute intermission, and then the second portion of the gallery is your opportunity to ask questions. That's why I got all your names. Bill cannot guarantee or promise that you will receive specific information that you are seeking. And we want to thank you all for attending today's gallery. And as I think I told everyone, but I'll reiterate, if you get a reading in the first half, then we pull your name out. There's no double dipping today. Tim's in the back. He's videotaping, going to do some segments for William to post on his website. And you've all signed a release for that, of which William and I and Tim, thank you. Now, yes, Mother?
You didn't say specifically there'll be no photography or recording of any kind.
No, that's not in my notes, but I will do it right. No, except for Tim, no videotaping or recording. Anything else, Mother Darling?
Yeah, that's good.
Now, what Bill didn't send me to say that I'd like to tell you. I've been going to psychics and doing this for years and years and years, and Bill is one of the best that I've come across. He's just a nice person. I met him a little over a year ago, and we just hit it off, and this is his third time here at the theater. And if you haven't seen him before, you're in for a treat, because he truly is gifted. We also share the love of the Wizard of Oz and some other things. He's probably the most intelligent person I know. So without further delay, please welcome William Stillman!
What a pleasure. Thank you so much. The most intelligent person you know.
Well, living. No, wait a minute, no, my mother, next to my mother.
Well, it is a great treat and a privilege and a pleasure to be back at the Lancaster Marionette Theater. And Robert, thank you so much for being such a gracious host. And a special thank you to all of you for taking time out of your busy lives and your busy schedules to spend an afternoon with me. It is my desire to be of good and great service to you if I'm able to. So thank you. I tell people that I don't have a normal life and I don't have a regular job. And a big component of my job is taking care of me. So that means spiritual boot camp every day. I don't cheat or lie about anything, ever. Not even what other people call white lies. It's just not part of my repertoire. I don't curse or swear. And I'm going to come back to that. I am a strict vegetarian and have been for over 20 years now. I have a little bit of orange juice with my breakfast in the morning, and then the rest of the day it's water only. And I'm very fastidious about my physical health. I go for a couple of long walks each day, and that's good meditation time for me. Robert mentioned the Facebook page and the quotes that go up every morning. I get those in my prayer and meditation time on my walks, and I have about 1,400 of them now. And they're all different, they're all unique. So I put one up each morning. I do at least 50 push-ups every morning. I work out with weights. And I spend time in prayer and meditation throughout each day. So that covers my mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical fitness. I also got in here early. I blessed the room, blessed the space in which we'll be working today, and then I did about probably another 50 minutes backstage privately in prayer and meditation. And then when we begin officially, I'm going to say a blessing with you all, and then we'll be triple dog protected all the way around. From there, I'm going to turn everything over to my team. I am working with a group of soul energies called spirit guides. Has anyone heard that phrase before? If you have, raise your hand, please. Okay. They're off to my left side, which would be your right. And sometimes when I'm doing group events, or sometimes with audiences many times this size, people will come up to me afterwards to say that they have actually seen flashes of blue or violet or magenta light off to this side. So that's kind of a cool validation for me. Working with them is sort of like watching cable news, where you're mostly distracted by news stories and the news anchors, but then at the very bottom of the screen, there's that continuous scrolling ticker of news information you sort of half catch some of. Sometimes you have to wait until after the commercial to catch the rest of it. That's them. And so it is very much like playing an advanced version of charades. Because they originate in the heavenly realm, there's nothing physical, it's all energy. Nobody has a voice box. We can't sit and chit-chat like we're having a conversation now. They're still communicating, but it's in ways that play off of all of my senses and emotions. They're feeding me pictures, movies, words, phrases mentally. They may make me feel things, they may make me smell, hear, and taste things. And in all the years that I've been doing this, no matter how strange it may seem to me, I gotta say what I see. So I feel like I'm a linguist, in essence, interpreting a foreign language for people who are not yet as fluent as I am, and then translating that into words. They're always right. Something might get a little lost in the translation, and so I am fallible, but they are always correct in what it is that they're communicating. Now, I need to beg your forgiveness for two things up front. The first is, if in working with you one-on-one, I should come across as a bit impatient or a little short. And the reason for that is, remember I said they're always right. There are some times when, because you don't have instant recall in the moment, you develop psychic amnesia. which means you become oblivious to the obvious in the moment. Maybe because you're a little nervous, maybe because you've been put on the spot, maybe because some of the things I'm talking about are going to stretch back to childhood. At the same time that's happening, I'm multitasking here because I'm having two conversations at once. I feel like I've got an entire Super Bowl stadium full of energy bearing down on me, pressing me with this information, and it's coming hard and fast. So, please forgive me if I seem a little impatient, and if you're struggling too much to connect the dots, I'm going to have to move on. We can always come back to you. You can raise your hand and say, I remembered. But they have the agenda. They have the floor. It's their show, not mine. The second thing that I need to beg your forgiveness for up front. Remember I said I don't curse or swear? That doesn't mean that your deceased loved ones didn't. Right? So, when that happens, for me, it feels like a sneeze. And I've got to let it rip. But please know that it is extremely embarrassing for me when that happens. But it is one of the ways in which they will demonstrate an aspect of their personality to you so that you know to recognize, yeah, that's the way Uncle Jack used to talk all the time. Yes. So they will do that. And as long as it doesn't get too graphic, I will allow for it. There have been occasions when I have actually channeled ghosts, so someone who is still here, and they're here because they're very angry, very bitter, and they're cursing in anger, and that's not a healthy thing. So a loved one who has crossed over and is communicating in that way will do so in a funny or fun way, just to sort of tease or get your goat a little bit, and that's how you'll know to recognize them. All right. So, as Robert said, for the first hour, I'm going to work with you intuitively and see what we get. If you feel as though you're connecting with the information, please raise your hand. The way my spiritual team works with me is that they're going to single out the one person in the room for whom the information is going to make sense. So I'm going to give you an example of that. A few years ago, I was doing a gallery in a setting where there was maybe twice the number of people that are in the room as are here today. And my spirit guides showed me the word Tonka, big capital letters, T-O-N-K. Now what would you associate that with? Tonka toys, Tonka trucks, right? That's what I thought. And then they showed me that there was a father connection to that, all right? And then they started showing me images associated with baseball. They were showing me Mickey Mantle and Wrigley Field, and they were showing me baseball cards. And that also felt like it had a father or grandfather connection to it. So I said, I feel as though this is for one of the gentlemen in the room who here played with Tonka trucks when they were a boy, and there's a father connection to that. And then I was also getting a baseball connection to a father or grandfather. Because father figure, mother figure, father figure could be godfather, father, grandfather, great uncle, anyone older than you that would seem like a father. No one claimed it. So mentally, I said to my team, so they said, repeat it. So I did. I'm getting something connected to playing with Tonka trucks. It's for one of the gentlemen in the room. There's a father figure connection to it, and then I'm getting a baseball connection to a father or grandfather. Crickets chirping. Hear crickets chirping. Nobody was claiming. So I mentally said to my team, seriously? Like what? I'm embarrassed now. What am I supposed to do? And they said, absolutely, 100%. Don't you walk away from this. Someone here knows exactly what you're talking about. I repeated it a third time. Finally, this gentleman way at the back of the room goes like this, raises his hand. Why he didn't do it the first time, I don't know. I think sometimes people get nervous or they aren't sure it's for them. I'd rather have you err on the side of caution. If it's not for you, I'll tell you, okay? But I said, yes, sir. He said, well, when I was a boy, I played with Tonka trucks that my dad bought me. Okay. I think I got my man. And I said, what's the baseball connection with father or grandfather? He said, there is none. I said, oh, yes, there is. Absolutely there is. And he thought for a moment, and then like a light bulb went off over his head, and he said, my grandfather was a carpenter, and when I was in school, he made all the baseball bats for our local baseball team in high school. Ah, okay, now I have it. The one person in the room for whom that information made sense. Once they singled out that person, the information that I had to give to him had nothing to do with Tonka trucks and baseball. It was just my team's way of singling out that person. The information that I had to give him had everything to do with his granddaughter and some issues that she was having. And that's the beauty of how they work, all right? So that's how it'll roll for the first hour. We'll take a 15-minute intermission. You can get some fresh air, use the restroom. And then when we come back, we'll draw names for questions and answers.